This clip is brought to you by SaveWithConrad.com. We got tons of questions about the Bushwhackers. So many of our listeners grew up with these guys. There's no way we'll get to them all. Let's try to do a few here. Chief Small PP. This is weird. Chief Small PP, whatever. Was the licking of kids discussed with Vince beforehand for safety reasons, or was that go out and have a good time and do what you like kind of thing?
Different time, different place, folks. And that was something that just kind of evolved as the characters grew and they kind of grew into each other. And it was something that Luke and Butch did to each other. And then it just kind of evolved from there.
Big Chop Man says, was it ever considered to have them revert to the Sheepherder style of their character at any point? I do think that's worth mentioning.
No, it wasn't. Yeah. I think that the one thing about the Sheepherder character was just that everyone identified with it was blood and guts.
Right.
And that wasn't something that we wanted to revisit. However, it's a good point, but I don't think it was ever brought up in a serious manner. It may have been brought up, hey, what if they went back to being the style of the Sheepherders, or even went back to the Sheepherder name? And that was not anything that was ever considered seriously.
GJ Refill had a great observation. He says, on the episode of Primetime Wrestling in 1989 titled Survivor Series Showdown, he said the Bushwhackers would be whacking and licking. Gorilla liked having some interesting commentary where if you were really paying attention, you get a chuckle, right?
Well, they did like to whack and lick.
Sure.
Who doesn't?
Lord knows we do.
There you go. I go back, the other thing about the Bushwhackers that they did that was kind of a gross thing, but again, you can either do it and embrace it or not. And that was, they would always have them eat sardines and be real gross with the sardines and shit. So on an episode of the Brother Love show, Vince has this idea, oh, goddamn, we got to get them on Brother Love, and they're eating the sardines. And then they decide to feed sardines to Brother Love. And I knew what was coming. And of course, Luke and Butch, being who they are as human beings, like, hey, mate, they want us to get this all over you and really feed you and do you good. I said, yes, I do. And same thing. I was like, let's go for it. Just go for it. Get it up my nose, get them in my ear, get them in my hair, get them down my shirt. I said, fucking, go for it. And we had a lot of fun with it. But again, I got the last laugh when I came back, because everybody's gathered around the gorilla position there at the monitors watching this. Andre was there, Vince was there, Pat, and just I think Bobby was there, but everybody's crowded around. We're gonna get Bruce, right? And so I came back, put my arms out like, hey guys, and then I put my head down, and I had really long hair there, and I'd taken it out, and I just start shaking like a dog. And sardines go everywhere. And you never saw people move so fast. They went from ha 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 to God damn it, and getting the hell out of Dodge. So
one of our questions here is from, let's see if I can get the name down again. Kent. Is there any concern about hiring the guys at this age? I know that sounds a little silly, but it is worth mentioning. I think Butch Miller, when he comes in, is 44 years old.
I don't think so. I didn't even realize they were that old, but, probably should have. They've been around for quite a while, but no, they were in great shape.
Scott has a great question. He says, during the 94 run, who came up with I'm going to screw this up, Hongi gimmick? The idea that they were like kissing noses with fans as opposed to licking faces. This, I guess, is like the evolution, because by 94, well, probably not as cool to do as it was back in 88, but it is a nice little adjustment.
I have absolutely no recollection of that at all, but I could see it happening and kind of way.
Matt says, if they had been broken up and pushed to singles, Who would have been the Sean and who would have been the Marty?
Boy, that's a tough question.
Right.
I mean, Luke had more experience as a single, but I dare say Butch had more personality.
Ivor wants to know, did Vince ever do the Bushwacker walk backstage?
All the time. Oh, yeah. Doesn't everybody do the Bushwhacker march backstage?
I think people will be this week on SmackDown. Marco wants to know, any good road stories about traveling with the Bushwhackers?
You know, other than that one night, I never actually traveled with them as much. Butch was about as close to a, family man and very low key. He liked to have a few beers. He liked to have a good time, but wasn't wild and crazy. Luke liked to have a good time, but Luke was pretty mellow. Now, back in the day, I'd heard stories of them kind of getting out of hand and having more fun, if you will. But when they came to WWE, they had pretty much damn matured and just wanted to get their job done and move on. Other than having a few drinks in the bar, they were pretty mellow.
Well, last question, then we'll wrap this one up. Jay Gatto says, was the popularity of Australian stuff in the late 80s, like Crocodile Dundee, the Energizer battery guy, etc., the main reason for the Bushwhackers gimmick being created?
No, it was, if anything, I would give Outback Jack for Crocodile Dundee. That was probably a playoff there. But as far as the Bushwhackers, who were Kiwis, New Zealand, it was just their talent as a tag team. And these were two guys, journeymen that had been in the business for a long time, that wanted to come in. We wanted to bring them in and thought they'd work. So it wasn't off of, because they weren't Australian, and people get that mixed up a lot of times. And I think one can substitute for the other, but no, it wasn't.
Hey, it's Conrad Thompson. Thanks for checking out the podcast here on YouTube. Be sure to hit the subscribe button and the notifications bell so you get a notice anytime we upload some new content. And go save yourself some money right now. If you're in a 30-year loan or you have credit card debt, it's not a matter of if I can save you money. It's a matter of how much. Find out right now for free at SaveWithConrad.com.